Okay, great. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Nikhil from ZapERP.com. And I also have Nicholas, my CEO, as well as Jaskaran from Fabrica.com. He's the founder of.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello everyone.
okay. Hey, sorry, I heard my own echo, so I just shut down my own tab now. So I hope you guys can hear us, right?
So I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear
Perfect,
you.
perfect, awesome. Okay, so before we get started, before we actually talk about Fabrica, what you guys do and how you have reached this point, I think we'll just give a brief background, like what is ZapERP and what we are doing here, why we this doing this webinar, and what are the future plans that we have.
Sure.
So ZapERP.com is an inventory management platform which is multi-channel and integrates with Amazon, Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, and many other sales channels like eBay too. The idea behind that is we will take care of your inventory, and you worry about the business. So you can worry about growing it rather than worrying about, okay, how much products that we're gonna need if we receive certain number of orders this month, how many orders we may receive next month, and so on. So ZapERP is the product that is going to help to make a better purchase decision, to improve your sales cycles. Obviously, then all other sales related activities such as returns, shipping, pick list management, and so on. Before I continue with the Jaskaran, Nicholas, would you like to add anything to this?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head, really. We're a full-scale, inventory system that handles e-commerce businesses, and the process to make it easy to run your e-commerce business. So, like you said, Nicole, about so you can just focus on the business and don't have to worry about have I got enough stock, haven't which items are getting returned and stuff like that. So you can really focus on just like your advertising, your customers and so on to grow your business.
Right. Right, absolutely, absolutely, and that is the intention. So, guys, this webinar is again not only about ZapERP; it's about helping e-commerce communities as much as possible, and that is why we have our first guest here. His name is Jaskaran. He's the founder of Fabrica.com. Now, I am gonna let him actually explain what is Fabrica, what he does, and obviously, I'm gonna ask him questions. But along with that, please feel free to keep your questions coming. Your questions could be about ZapERP, they could be about e-commerce, they could be about Fabrica.com, because Nicholas is e-commerce expert. He runs his own e-commerce consulting firm. Jaskaran, again, B2B business expert. And we both of us from ZapERP. So, okay. So Jaskaran, I'm going to unmute you, and please start with the introduction, and then I can ask you questions.
Sure. Yeah, hi, hello everyone. I hope you're having a good evening or good morning, depending on where you're located in the globe. So, coming to my company, what we do and what we're trying to build. So, Fabrica.com is essentially a very strictly B2B e-commerce website, wherein we're trying to solve for the supply chain issues of the promotional clothing industry here in India. So I totally understand it's a very narrow niche that we are working in, but still the market size is pretty big. Although the number of people that we directly or indirectly affect is relatively small compared to a horizontal B2C marketplace, but still the industry is fairly large, considering we are a population of about 1.4 billion. And so what essentially we are doing is we're providing, so as I mentioned earlier, the industry in our country, the promotional clothing industry is very, very badly fragmented, and the supply chain is practically non-existent. I mean, it's totally broken. So what we are trying to do with Fabrica is organizing it and helping merchants conduct their business with a fair amount of transparency and with fair amount of ease when it comes to sourcing good products, getting them at a good price, and being able to control, have a tab on inventories, being able to check real-time inventories with us, we being their suppliers. So things like those, although these seem like very rudimentary, but in the industry that we are operating in, they are quite stellar. I would say features that we have brought for now. Going forward, we also envision to support our market since we are a B2B business, and B2B business in a country like us is very strongly dependent on credit and available of funds. So we also envision to onboard some credit providers like third-party credit providers like banks and non-banking finance corporations and other companies which are in a position to offer credit facilities to our customers so that they can have a better experience working and buying from us, and they can also expand their business using these facilities which are beyond just the sale aspect of the business. So that essentially what Fabrica is. Our product portfolio for now is we sell plain blank garments which are sold to people in the business of gifting, people in the business of t-shirt printing, people in the business of uniforms. So essentially, our customers buy plain garments from us, and as per their orders from their customers, as I said, we're a B2B enterprise. They decorate the garments and print the garments and do the embroidery and stuff and pass it on to the end consumers. So that essentially, I mean, that's a very broad definition of what we are trying to do at Fabrica. Going forward, we also plan to expand our product portfolio to parallel categories like inks, supplies, chemicals. So the idea is getting the maximum advantage out of because the market pool remains the same. The customer base is same for all these products, all these categories also. So we also want to venture into parallel categories, but essentially we are domain focused and I would say domain narrow kind of an enterprise for now. That is I would say what I could tell you about Fabrica in about 2 minutes. I would like to know about your questions now.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that primarily you guys are B2B. So I assume that the businesses that buy from you, they are the
Yeah.
ends. So they are the people who actually prints those t-shirts and sell it to the consumer.
Right.
So in terms of, I mean, so the first question that comes in my mind, okay, the payment, like you mentioned the credit part, right? So how are you handling that?
So for now, what we are actually, we encourage people to buy using their credit cards because that effectively gives them a 30 to 45 days credit from the bank itself. But we understand, again, as I said, we have customer base even in tier 2, tier 3 cities also, and people still don't have as much access to credit cards in India, which is a ground reality. So to counter that problem, we are wanting to onboard credit providers, specific credit providers who can offer credit to customers who buy from us based on their credentials, based on their credit history and stuff. So all that process has to be built. All that process has to be automated, wherein the customer who's buying from us can just fill in his PAN details and his maybe other credentials that these companies would require, and on the fly they can offer him a line of credit which he can use to buy stuff from Fabrica. So that is what the plan is. But for now, we've not yet done it. So for now, it is credit cards that we encourage customers to use so that they essentially get a 30 to 45 days credit from the bank, which works for now.
Interesting. So in terms of a B2B sales, because I assume that there is gonna be certain period in a year where your sales gonna be more than other months or other periods, right? So how are you using some sort of a methodology to achieve that, or like some of the KPIs that you would like to suggest and share with the community? Because at the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, tracking of your sales, tracking of your sale movement is important to understand what, I mean, although we're selling basic clothing, which does not really has got much to do with fashion. But as you said, there are seasons. So definitely, so when winters are approaching, the sweatshirts and jackets would move more versus t-shirts, and in the summer seasons, we wouldn't expect winter products to move. That apart. So if you talk of the end customer use cases, so our customers, as I said, our customer are t-shirt printers, people into corporate gifting, people into events, people into uniforms. So for example, if we are talking of the period of say April, June, that is a time when uniform people have much, like it's more towards the uniform season, because new batches are starting, new colleges are opening. So the requirements during that period are more towards the young crowd. I mean, as far as the end user case is concerned. So we keep track of the inventory. We plan our inventory according to the seasons. And we have historical data to help us plan and analyze, and of course trends also change. The colors, how they are moving, change. The sizes, because you have to understand, when our customer buys, he's not buying one or two pieces from us. He's buying 100, 200, 500 pieces. So
Right.
essentially, when he's buying 400-500 pieces in one shot, the ratio of sizes, it becomes very critical for us to manage the ratio of sizes in a manner that we do not lose out on sales, or the ratio is not skewed, so that if we have it. So for example, we have 500 units of one item, but we do not have them in the correct order of sizes. So it becomes very important for us to keep, and this varies from product to product, because if the end user case for a product is, say, a corporate buyer, there the larger sizes would move more. So the size ratio is skewed more towards L, XL, double XL, XL. If it
Right.
is college students, then it is small, then mediums that move more. So we have to keep keep an absolute tab on that, on the size composition, because can you see me? I just got a message.
No, I think I lost the video.
So, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's fine.
I'll try starting it again.
Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. So, meanwhile, Nicholas, I think he's going to take some time to connect. So, in order to, I mean, add into the conversation that he was saying, and maybe you can talk more, because I remember some time back we were discussing about the B2B, right? Some of the ideas that you had in B2B. So, and what he was explaining, like in case of B2B, those businesses tend to purchase in a large quantity. They need a credit, they need maybe they need some sort of a portal to track all those purchase and sales, right? So yeah, I mean, would you like to add into the conversation that he was mentioning?
So really, with the obviously the ZapERP 2.2 coming out, during that time, in like quarter one of 2021, we'll be launching a enhanced B2B system, like he was saying, like to track orders, to pay bills, and to make it easy for a customer to place a unit of 500 orders. And we're also adding a functionality such as repeat orders, so they can just press a button to repeat the same order if they want the same order as last time. So it's easier for customers to log on to their to the B2B portal of these clients and just get the orders sorted, sort payments out, see the tracking details, as the system is fully integrated. So when they ship out a product through ShipStation or through their courier on our system, obviously the tracking will get updated. It'll then email the customer saying your product's being shipped with the tracking number, and they can track all that in there. And like you said about credit terms, it's something we will look at to implement credit options, like payment options to around the world. So like in the UK we have Klarna and stuff like that, and in certain other countries you have different B2B portal B2B payment methods. So we can look at that, integrate all that, so we can be a really enhanced B2B system as we are building for e-commerce. But this is part of e-commerce as well, because the B2B is moving a lot to e-commerce. So this is a big feature that we're going to be launching and building over time, and you'll see it over time come.
Makes sense. Okay, so as he's taking a bit of a time, maybe what I will do, I will start by introducing some of the features that we recently released for ZapERP. And Nicholas, feel free to get into the details, and then obviously we're going to talk about the future updates that we have planned for ZapERP. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, So recently, one of the major features that we launched, actually two of the major features that we launched. One of them is the quantity update, the quantity bucket update that we have released, and the second is eBay. Now, in case of quantity bucket update, now this is the reason I'm calling it as a major feature, because this gets us pretty much on par with our competition. So what it does, it basically allows us to exactly tell you where your items are in the pipeline right now. Are they in a sales order? So for example, is there a committed quantity for that? Or is there a purchase quantity? For example, you have created a purchase order, but you haven't received those items yet. So that means those are incoming stock, but those are not yet on hand. Similarly, you have sort of created a packages, so that means you have reduced the on-hand quantity, and now those items cannot be part of your on-hand quantity, so they can't be part of any other sales order. So that's the primary purpose of quantity bucket. And let me just quickly show you how we have distributed it. Now, this is our test system, so it's going to contain a lot of data. I hope it won't be overwhelming. Yeah. Okay. So, for example, as you can see, the 6C 6 cup, it's a demo product. It shows a total quantity of 40 with the buy price of 5 and sell price of 30. Now, if I open this product, as you can see, it shows me on-hand quantity. So what we have done, you can have on-hand quantity, or you can have all these quantity buckets per warehouse. So to give an example, you can create a purchase order and you can create specific to that warehouse. And then your incoming stock will be updated only for that warehouse. So that is the biggest advantage, so that you can have that warehouse specific stats, which says, okay, I have 100 items coming in New York warehouse, I have 200 items coming in maybe San Francisco warehouse, and so on. And based on that, I can sell my products more effectively. Now, this is very important, whether you are using Shopify, Magento, or even Amazon, because in Shopify, they have a concept called location, right? In ZapERP, you can map the Shopify's location to ZapERP's warehouse. So that way, whenever the order comes in Shopify, which is specific to that location, which could be either nearest location or which could be a generic location, we can map it to ZapERP's order, and we can actually find out the nearest location, and we can issue that package or issue that invoice, so that eventually shipment can be created. So that this is where all these quantity bucket update plays a very important role. Now, before I go to the next update, which talks about eBay, Nicholas, would you like to add anything in this?
Yeah, so like you said, it maps up with Shopify, and within Magento's biggest update was 2.3, and that brought MSI, which is the multi-inventory software in behind the scenes, and part of that we can now integrate really fully with that, so we can map up the warehouse locations. So your stock also gets updated based on the availability and stuff like that. And like Nicole said about what we call order routing. So we'll soon develop a system where, from Magento, like Shopify, but from Magento and other sources such as WooCommerce and BigCommerce, we can do order routing. So that we can find the best location, and it'll send, okay, so if it's in Los Angeles, your warehouse, you can ship from there instead of the UK warehouse, for example, if the customer's based in Los Angeles.
Yep, exactly. And so the second update, it's actually about eBay. A lot of our customers were requesting, okay, when are you going to have eBay? When are you going to have eBay? And we did release the first version of the eBay end of last month. Now, the integration is very easy. All they have to do is go to inventory apps, click on eBay icon, and their eBay store, system will ask for eBay credentials. They just need to put in those credentials, and everything will be taken care automatically. So the connection part is completely automatic. You don't have to enter anything manual. Once connected, you just need to import your orders and products once. That is all. Once you import those, rest of the stuff, like every day, system will pull the orders and the products, and it will just keep showing you in the inventory as well as in the sales order section. And then you can also use this to connect with your other sales channels like Amazon and Shopify and keep pushing data to it. So the idea, the overall multi-channel, that is where ZapERP starts to shine. Now, the way we are doing for an eBay integration, and that is how we have done for other integration is too. We have done iterative improvements. So right now, the eBay integration that we have is something that actually pulls data from eBay every day. But eventually, that data pull will be every hour, so that you will have pretty much real-time data from eBay. So as soon as you receive order in your eBay store, within an hour you will see that order in ZapERP. So that should become available early next month or mid of March, and that will actually change the way you look at the data in ZapERP. You will have real-time statistic, real-time graphs, real-time sales reports, real-time you can actually create purchase orders from the real-time sales reports that you have. So you don't need to actually keep any inventory. If you are selling on eBay, you can actually create purchase orders in real time, send it to your vendor, purchase those items, and then deliver them on the fly. So that is update regarding eBay. Now I see that so that basically summarizes the major two updates that we have done. Now regarding some other minor updates, because sometimes it becomes very difficult to track all the updates that we do. Our idea behind the update is we pretty much every week we release small updates. So it could be like bug fixes, it could be some of the screen improvements. Just to give an example, recently we improved a lot around way the shipping charges as well as the taxes are processed in the system and the way they are pushed to zero. So similarly, now we are planning to do it for other products too. I think Nicholas will be in better position to explain how that plan is there, like QuickBooks and some other things. But the point is, if you would like to see our updates, like what all smaller updates that we have done, we added a small icon there which is called as a what's new. So if you click on the what's new icon, it pretty much gives you an idea like what all updates that we have done. So it could be very small update like how to do cancel stock take, or it could be big update like quantity bucket, or it could be again some sort of a external integration with AliExpress. So all those things are available and visible here. You can check it out. You can give us your feedback. Obviously, if you have an ideas and suggestion, you can chat with us on our chat and you can provide us there. Now, coming back to Nicholas. So I'm going to let you handle this part because you know better like what are the future plans and as well as anything else that you have in mind.
Yeah, so I'll start off with the major of the UI. So over the 2+ releases, you'll see some big changes to the UI to make it more simplified for the user. So that's one big change we'll be implementing with the launch of 2.0. It won't be the full UI, but there'll be certain aspects of like the purchase orders, the back order, the menu, the integrations, and the reports. And then we'll follow up with more UI changes to make sure we improve on the system. Then on top of that, I'll go back to the integration such as Xero. We are improving the QuickBooks one as well, and the Xero one, where we map up everything correctly, such as you will be able to, it'll pull the data through your account. It'll pull the accounts data from Xero or QuickBooks into the system, such as your payment methods, such as bank accounts, such as expense accounts and everything like that. And then what you'll do when you integrate to a store such as Magento or Shopify, when a payment comes in, in the settings you'll be able to map it up. So if a customer pays by Stripe, you map it up to the Stripe account in QuickBooks or Xero, and then it pushes that through there, and it creates a journal entry such as paid. And then also, obviously, then when you're reconciling, it's very simple. So the reason we're doing that is to make it easy for e-commerce businesses to, like as we said from the beginning, is to just concentrate on their e-commerce businesses, such as advertising and marketing. Then the other updates we'll be doing is a big return update. Now, returns is a major problem, especially in the clothing industry. So the returns we are, really concentrating on for the 2.0 launch, and you'll be able to process a return. You'll be able to create a return for your customer. The return slip will go to the customer, and there will also be a warehouse feature for the warehouse to put the returns away, and you can see a trail. You can see a complete journey of that, and you can then view report based on how many products, how many returns you're getting, what's the main reason for your returns. So then you can buy your inventory better. So you might think, oh yeah, I'm selling product A, I'm selling 100 a week, but you're getting 15 return because people don't like the sizing, or the sizing is not right. So that's where a problem, and that'll help you buy better. In the future updates of returns, we'll be doing the return portal where the customer can enter their order number, and depending on the courier, they can print a return label, and it'll be all authorized through the system. So your warehouse gets it and scans it in and puts it back in the system. With the return, we also are going to put settings in, such as like how many days, how many times, what's the allowance on the return. So you can set up on the return, okay, I only want a customer to be able to return 14 days, up to 14 days from the shipment date or the invoice date or the order date. So then it'll block the return from happening, which will be better for your customer service. They don't have to look at the dates. They can just process it really simple. There'll be other features such as, the back ordering system. Because obviously the quantity update, the booking quantity update, we now can properly work on the back ordering system. So every day you log in, you can select the supplier and select all the products that have been ordered by customers that you need to you need to order from your supplier because you haven't got in stock. The pick, pack, and ship is going to be very simple as well. So that'll be coming in the 2+ launch, either the 2.0 or 2.1, where we simplify that process, where we make it very streamlined. So you can start your process, print off your pick list, and then you pack all your items, pick all your items. Your warehouse goes around, pick all the items, and then you can start scanning, and it prints off the shipping label or pushes it to the ship station. We will be, again, in the future, improving that again to the next steps, where all the shipping is done in-house and so on. So you can connect to your courier in the system, and it automatically prints off the shipping label. So there are two big features that we're obviously releasing. So it's three really, because we were launching the QuickBooks fix as well. So there's really exciting stuff really coming. I've always said the returns is a big problem. A lot of people don't support returns properly. So this is, this is a major change and a real step up.
Right, absolutely. And in case of QuickBooks, I mean, as we have done it for Xero, because we actually realized a lot of things, like when we receive data from Shopify. For example, I was actually having an email conversation with one customer who is based out of Australia, where they charge GST, but the eBay invoices don't have GST on it. So the GST has to be applied either in ZapERP or has to be passed to QuickBooks or Xero so that it can be applied there. But all these things are gonna be there. So and some of them are already there, which is actually what we are really proud of, because when we receive data from eBay even now or Amazon, Shopify, and if it is getting passed to Xero, you can apply those taxes in Xero. So ZapERP passes sufficient information to Xero so that you can do this accounting magic in Xero itself. And similarly, the update will be coming in for the QuickBooks. Now, in terms of the other thing that you actually mentioned about the UI, because I see one question where the person has asked, like, okay, what is the ETA for viewing unshipped content without needing to open each order? So I think that is what even one of the new UI screen actually says. Okay, how do I ship or how do I see the orders which are not yet shipped and whether they are ready to ship, or whether like in summary, I should be able to view or know what to do with that order, right? So we are gonna work on it. That is definitely planned. And when I say planned, means not for like long, but that is needs it's gonna get released very soon. I will have exact ETA for it after the call is done. But yes, we have planned for that. The second question, integrate this. It has an API. It has all popular payments in Europe. For example, ideal is 80% used in Netherlands. I'm not exactly sure what integration is that. I will check it out, and once I have more information, I can answer your question. So far we have only two questions, but yes, that pretty much covers what actually you were also telling about future plans. I have one more update in the future plan. So in this month we are waiting for official approval from Zero. So they are actually reviewing our integration already. So they have already given us a partner access, but soon they should be able to give us the actual their app store access. We are pretty much in the final approval, and we will have it very soon. We are also in a final approval for Pipedrive. So Pipedrive is a CRM. It's beautifully designed CRM used by thousands of businesses. So we will have approval for that too. And we are also waiting for approval by SyncSpider. So SyncSpider is like Zapier, but it is used in communities. It is from PitchGround only. And we are hoping to release that integration or that approval also very soon. So that actually covers my future updates. Nicholas, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I think we need to mention this as well. Obviously the integrations. So we're going to bring some more integrations that relate to the e-commerce businesses, because not only would you sell on your website, but you will sell on a lot more marketplaces out there, because obviously they have a lot more reach. So we will be bringing in like a Walmart integration and stuff like that. We'll also look at different countries and look at what the most popular marketplaces are. So we can make sure we can integrate with them to streamline everything, so that you have an all-in-one system that you can do from your returns, your integrations, your shipping, your picking, packing, everything, and it also works streamlined with your accounts as well.
Right, absolutely. In fact, I remember we initially, when we had webinars, a lot of community members actually asked us for this only. And one of the most requested integration was Lazada. Obviously, it is already there in our roadmap. Please feel free to vote for it. Or if you have any other integrations in mind, please do add it in our feedback so that we can take a look at it. We can decide like when those can be delivered based on the number of requests that we receive. Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So, meanwhile, if there are any other questions, please keep them coming. I think Jaskaran has just joined us. So I'll just quickly resume our call. So let me unmute him. Hey, hey, Jaskaran, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys, but my camera is not working for some reason. I've
No,
tried
that's
refreshing. Yeah,
no, that's okay. That's okay. Not a problem.
yeah,
Actually, we were just talking about ZapERP, so it's totally fine. Not a problem.
yeah.
Uh, actually, I'm just going to ask you some of the questions that I was thinking
Please.
when you explained about Fabrica and the background. So, as Fabrica is in the clothing business, and if I'm not wrong, clothing business is such a competitive business, right? So, how you are keeping up with the trends, and how you are how you are staying up to date with the technologies? What you are doing with that?
So see, as I've mentioned, we are operating in a niche. So niches have their advantages and disadvantages. A major advantage that niche offers you is less marketing spend. So the CAC, the cost of customer acquisition cost, is fairly low for us compared to a mass market horizontal e-commerce company, or a B2C e-commerce company for that matter, because we don't really have to fight for social media, spending, or we don't have to go about spending on mass media, mass hoardings, because not everyone is a customer. We are a very strictly focused, narrow niche B2B only. So much so that if you see our website, if you see if you see stuff on the website, there is no way you can even see the prices because it is imperative for us to take care of the interest of our business, of our customers. So if, as I said, our customers are essentially buying stuff from us, adding their margins, and then uh, selling it to their customers at a profit. So the end customer should not be in a position to know what this guy is making on it. So considering that, it's a very closed system with limited access only to people who have an account with us. So we have a fairly detailed customer onboarding process wherein we take all their business credentials, we take their tax numbers and stuff, and we verify that it is a valid business. Then only can you actually have access to the website and to be able to make purchases with us. So cost of acquisition is concerned, we don't really have to bother about it much because, as I said, it's a niche business. So, but again, the downside again is since it's a niche business, so you can only have as much customers because you cannot just go about selling to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. So the idea is optimizing on those customers. The idea is giving them a good experience so that they continue being with you and do not look for options apart from you as far as the experience is concerned, as far as the pricing is concerned. So it is always delivering on a good experience, which I believe keeps the customers coming back. So yeah, I think that answers it.
Correct. Makes sense. Actually, I remember, I think few days back only, I was talking with one of the clients, and the topic was same thing, the niche. So the client is actually in drop shipping business, and
Okay.
one thing that he was suggesting to me, because I was trying to understand like what all his needs are, requirements, and etc. etc. And then I said, okay, why you chose this product? And that's where he said that this is a niche, and I mean there are not a lot of people, and especially in the drop shipping sector, you need that niche, you need the specific area, because he is selling B2C, that means it's going to be much more competitive and much more cutthroat, right? So he talked about the same thing, that being a niche and being selling the products that probably no one is selling. So what you are saying completely makes sense. Whether you're doing B2B or B2C, you need to be in
Yeah.
that niche area.
Although
Things
although
become much.
I would want to reiterate here. See, B2C still allows you some sort of margins. When
Mhm.
it comes to B2B, it essentially, see, B2B ideally is also two categories. One is where your customer is further selling your stuff. The other
Mhm.
B2B, as we generally know, is wherein the buyer is an enterprise, where the buyer is a business or a company.
Correct.
So even if it is even in this kind of a B2B transaction, you still have the liberty of having good margins or decent margins to say. But when it comes to a B2B transaction where the buyer is further going to be selling your product, he is absolutely going to ensure that not even 1 cent of his money is spent here and there. So that puts a lot of pressure on us as far as controlling the costs for our customer is concerned. So, for example, things like we have to fight very hard with the logistics companies to ensure that the cost of logistics is to the minimal. We employ packaging techniques in a manner so that the volumetric weights and all are controlled. So the whole space we have to operate in is very thin. It's a razor thin game we have to operate in because the customer has to. If we are not saving money for our customer, he'll not be able to do good business. It's as simple as that. So we have to make sure that our customer is able to make as much profit uh, as is humanly possible. So for him to be able to make a better margin, we have to squeeze on our costs. We have to fight on his behalf so that his business becomes a success. In the success of his business lies our success essentially. So it is different from a B2B when the B there is an enterprise.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, I mean that was the reason. I mean, these are the experiences that I thought that will be great for a community, because at the end of the day, I can talk about ZapERP for hours and hours, but that's gonna limit the community advantage that we have, right? The This is the reason I thought that, okay, let's have a call with you, understand like what do you guys do and what are the challenges that you have faced. So for example, the challenge that you mentioned just now, the cost, like at every point, whether it's a packaging, whether it's sourcing, whether actual sales, you are actually making sure that okay, it is cost effective, it is performance oriented. So, and that is what matters, because if we, as we share this in the community, it could be helpful to any businesses.
Yeah, so just to exemplify, as I mentioned, so it might seem funny to some people. So cartons are a big no for us. You ask me why? Why? Because cartons, it is difficult to pack in as much stuff in a carton versus packing stuff in a bag. So bags being flexible, and you can really push down stuff into a bag. So when it comes to moving a bag, the average volumetric weight for a bag turns out to be lower compared to a carton. So cartons for us is a big no, because although it looks more presentable, it keeps the product probably better or safer. But because of the cost disadvantage, cartons, we just cannot afford to use cartons. So
Got
I mean, the case varies from business to business. So in our case, we have to take care of that.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, case is going to vary from business to business, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. I
Yeah.
mean, Amazon itself is the best example, right? They want you to put maximum products in one shipment, so that way
True.
when they're shipping, they can put in, instead of putting like shipping for one product, they can ship like say three, four, five products, and that
True.
is the reason. Many times they want you to order more than a certain threshold amount. So, for example, if you are in US, you need to at least order more than $35. And if you're ordering less than $35, you're going to get charged a shipping fee. And I'm pretty sure that must be the case with UK too. So, Nicholas, do you have any questions or anything that you would like to add here, or anything that you want to talk?
More about the software and like how we can obviously help in the future. So like what features are you missing now the B2B system that you've currently got that we could potentially develop to make sure we have these features in the B2B system and we bring it along?
So, Jaskar, actually, that was a question to you. I think there
I'm
was.
sorry. I'm sorry. If you can come again, Nicholas.
Yeah, so it's more to do with obviously your software you use at the moment. And obviously we are bringing a B2B feature out in the near future. And
Okay.
it would just be interesting to see what features you think you're missing from the software that an inventory system can handle.
Yeah, so as Nikhil knows it, we have built our own systems on our own ERP system on spreadsheets. Also, although it may seem rudimentary, but I am very confident what we have built is quite effective, and it makes our life a lot easy. And the reason why another reason why why we had to move that way is because I mean, all that also answers your question. So when there is a physical point of sale also involved, when your sale, I mean, when it's an omni-channel thing, which is the case for us, there a lot of ERPs and a lot of systems do not really have a solution. So when I say a physical point of sale, so there is a guy on the counter who needs to have access to the inventory on in his particular location. So coming to Fabrica, we have three warehouses, for example, and spread across three different locations. So we would need a window if at all we have to move to an ERP system like Zap or anything. We would need a window wherein the guy at the counter in this particular warehouse is able to he's able to see inventory for his location as far as well as the other locations. Also be able to debit inventories from his location, which is a physical sale, which is not an online sale. Be able to generate invoices there, and that inventory, that deduction or addition inventory is reflected throughout across all the online channels also with like for us our website, and if somebody is also selling on marketplaces and stuff, so it is automatically taken care of there also. So essentially physical point of sale channel is what I believe is very important for an omni channel seller like us to be able to take care of all sales channels, because physical retail is still there. It's not like it is still important, it is still going to be around. So a lot of systems fail there actually.
Right, right. No, I agree. So Nicholas, I think this is the same thing that the problem that you faced, right? where your guy at the warehouse needs an access to the system, because and at the same time you need your own access where you can view at high level what is happening, how many orders are coming in, what are the
Yeah.
sales, what are the purchase sale. So I think the core issue or the core problem is same. The only thing is that the difference is, in your case it is B2C, while in his case it is B2B. So the volume and the overall approach could be different. So, but yeah, that is what we have. What
Also adding to a use case. So I'll be able to talk from the perspective of my business only. So as I said, we have three warehouses in three locations, and we have separate set of customers in each location. So we have a warehouse in Pune, we have a warehouse in Mumbai, we have a warehouse in Chandigarh. So what we have done, I mean, by virtue of what we have built on Google spreadsheets, the customers that we serve in that location, they have access to the inventory lying in that location. So there is also a window in our ERP wherein the customers have access to our inventory. So when they are, when they are checking out for stuff, or when they want to confirm whether their supplier, has a particular stock or not, they do not really have to make a call to us, or do anything. Just go on to the link that we've shared with them, and they can just have absolute transparent live access to the inventory of every location that we are stocking in. So the customer window to the inventory is also a feature that we could build, which was not a part of the ready-made system that were there in the market.
So
Okay.
this, yeah, this is actually music to my ear, because when I envision the B2B system, this is why I envision that customer should be able to view, or at least he should have an ability to view, so that if a business owner wants to show certain data to customer, he should be able to see that. Similarly, a warehouse guy should have a real-time access to inventory. Similarly, as an owner or as a business partner, you should be able to see certain things too. So, and that is where the ZapERP is. That is how the ZapERP is planned. So, so Nicholas, do you have anything else to add, or do you have any other updates that you
No,
would
no,
like?
I think that obviously that answers the question really, and it gives us an idea on how we can go forwards with our B2B system. I think I've mentioned most of the updates. There'll be a few I've probably missed out, but the smaller ones. But obviously, we'd like to hear people's feedback. Who've got the system. As Nicholas said on the start of the call, I do run an e-commerce business, and we've took a lot of them features that we need into this system, and this will help other people. But it's obviously things we don't use that a lot of other people might use. So really, all we need to do is ask for the users to give us the feedback, give us their features that they're looking for, and then we can see where we can implement them if we get enough interest from other users.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100% agree. So that is why, whenever you have any suggestion or feedback in mind, please chat with us or go to the feedback, the roadmap.zaperp.com, and add your feedback there. So perfect. So I will be replying to the comments once our call is over. Meanwhile, if any questions, please reach out to us on zaperp.com. We have live chat support, or you can always email us at support@zaperp.com. Uh, we will keep on, we're going to have more webinars in the future, because the idea is to help community to have more conversation with e-commerce owners. So thank you, Jaskaran. I think it was a wonderful conversation. It was a great, sort of like very high level overview of like what is Fabrica, what you guys do, and what you guys are like, sort of like how you are managing it. And
My
thanks,
pleasure.
Nicholas.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. So thank you, Nicholas. Do
Thank
you,
you, guys.
perfect, perfect. Okay, guys. So feel free to reach out to us and have a good day.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys.
Yep.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
See
Bye
you
bye.
soon. Bye.